It is Talking Reds. After Liverpool go to Porto, score 5 goals, are in general absolutely the business. I'm Neil Atkinson. This is Harriet Prior, and we are with you for the next sort of 15 minutes or so to sum all of that up and enjoy it in one sense one more time. The thing for me, Harriet, is that I felt a little bit, the 4-1, when we go there and win 4-1, I think they battered us for half an hour and it sort of got overlooked in the aftermath. The first 5-0 when we go there, we play them off the park in the end, but it takes a bit of time. I think Liverpool just go and impose themselves so early last night. Every facet of Liverpool's play, I thought, was exemplary. It was possibly Liverpool's best performance since Leicester away on Boxing Day in 2019. That's how far back I'd go as to how good the Reds were.
They must be absolutely sick of the sight of us, Porto, mustn't they?
They must hate that draw.
They must hate it, but we seem to go there every single year, and it's often a bit later on in the competition, so it's quite nice to go there in the group stage and pick up an early win. I think we were just so clinical tonight, and I think it was exactly what we needed after the weekend and a bit of a shaky performance against Brentford, and exactly what we need before next weekend, heading to Man City, and also with their defeat last night. I think the confidence is definitely going to be on our side. I thought throughout the pitch, every single player did their job exactly how they should, and it was just a joy to watch. And we went there, and like you said, it was just so impressive from start to finish, and there wasn't even a 5-minute period where I felt like they were on top.
No, I think the idea that you said to those lads who, if we're all honest about it, I don't think the keeper's great against Brentford, I don't think the left back's great against Brentford, no. I don't think either centre-halves are great against Brentford, and I don't think Fabinho plays brilliantly against Brentford, far from it. All of those footballers get to go again within 72 hours. And I do wonder if that becomes part of a selection, which is they need to get that one out of their systems.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you need to get that removed from your head and removed from your mental space, and then you go on to the next one. And I think that did feed into his selection and why he just went with the pretty much identical backline. Obviously, Milner had to come in for Trent because of the groin injury, which we now know, and looks like he's going to be out for City. But in a way, it's good that you have Milner coming in last night and proving that he can do that sort of same job. Some of his crosses, one of his crosses for the goals was excellent. I think the back four and the defence, I don't know what happened, but they all had a very off day. Like, not one of them had a good day against Brentford. So for them to come tonight and look like they were really just decisive and really clinical and not, getting first every second ball, which very often wasn't the case at the weekend, was really good to see, and I think it's really good for feeding into the weekend.
I want to talk about Curtis in a minute. Yeah. We'll hold off on Curtis. One of the strange things that happens during the match is it's been a while, to be really honest, that I've seen a goalkeeper play that badly. Yeah. It's astounding how
could have been our man of the match, to be honest. It's
astounding how dreadful he is for 3 of the goals. It really is. Really genuinely very, very bad indeed. Mm-hmm. And he's exposed obviously for the 3rd one. There's not much he can do about it. The 5th one, the ricochet, but the other 3, it is spectacular how much he plays into Liverpool's hands. I don't know what he's doing with that Milner cross. No,
he seemed to, like, a lot of the goals seemed to be in slow motion, and he didn't be able to deal with any of them because they were so slow. He thought he didn't have time to get back up, and then, when you're watching it in real time, he definitely does have time to get back up, and he just chooses not to. He's like, no, I'll just stay on the floor and see what happens. But you can't also say that the Liverpool players weren't exactly where they needed to be to capitalise on that. I thought for the first goal, obviously you're saying for Salah it's just a tap in, but the way he gets in front of his defender does brilliantly. The way Curtis skips around his defender to make that, well, it was a shot, wasn't it, and then a deflection. So obviously, yes, some really bad goalkeeping that played into our hands, but we were in the right place and exactly where we needed to be.
Curtis was just tremendous. Yeah. It's his best performance for Liverpool so far. It builds on the goal against Brentford at the weekend, and he runs the show in a way that actually doesn't happen as often as people act like it does. There are many midfielders going away from home in Europe in this competition who put in a performance as controlling and as dominating as the one that Jones does last night.
He just ran the game, didn't he? He looked like the dominant man on that pitch, and that is saying something when you've got players like Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah on there as well. He was so decisive in key moments where he needed to be. He took the defenders on. He just was really direct, and I think that sometimes, when you're a younger player, they turn backwards quite a lot. They sort of rely on the players around them, but he was like, no, I've got this, I can do it. And he just went for it, and obviously he goes for the shot for the first goal. He gets 3 assists last night. It's unbelievable how well he played, and he must come away from that thinking, I've got to have that shirt on Sunday, because if I'm not getting that shirt on Sunday, then why not? Because I deserve it.
What more can he do?
Yeah, exactly.
He's got to start against City. I'd be amazed if he doesn't off the back of that.
I would be amazed if he doesn't start against City, and I think he deserves to, and I think that performance last night fills us all with confidence that he is the one that should be playing there in the absence of a player like Thiago.
Little thing on the City game, it's Tuesday to Sunday, so there's loads of recovery time for the players when
and
they get
they've
back
had a game as well. So.
And they've had a game at the same time. The one thing that strikes me is there's every chance Liverpool go in possibly completely unchanged
Yeah.
against City, and this has been a run where we've seen a lot of rotation from the manager, not just League Cup rotation. In the comments, there's one question, I think it is a relatively valid one, from Trevor McIntosh. Interesting that Gomez comes on for Milner fairly early. Was that saving Milner's legs for City, or getting Gomez a look at right back before City? And I feel that could go either way. I think that could be the one thing that's in the manager's mind. But apart from that, I think he's going to go with the same side again, which will mean he'll have played across the 3 games in this week, broadly speaking, the same team 3 times, which surprises me.
It surprises me because I thought last night was the game we were going to see a lot of rotation. I was really surprised we didn't see sort of an Origi or a Minamino start last night, because I thought that's what most of us expected. But I think going into Sunday's game, he's going to play a relatively unchanged team with the mind that international break is coming up. Some of those players will get a rest, obviously not all of them, but hopefully a few of them will. And that if they just had a win like that and the momentum's on their side, why would you not play them again? I think for me the Milner thing is taking him off so he's got fresher legs for Sunday. He was fuming to come off, wasn't he, at 60 minutes? He always is, and I don't know why, because he knows it's going to happen, but I love that spirit in him. But I think for me it's going to be Milner on Sunday.
Mentioned the international break there, Harriet. During that, on the Monday, we are doing a live, intimate, don't be scared of the word, show at Leaf, upstairs in Leaf, on Monday the 11th of October. It'll be Adam Smith with What Football Means to Me, and then an AFQ football afterwards that I'm very much looking forward to, with the audience present all day. We'll be recording those shows and putting them out as podcasts. We've never done anything like that before, so there's a live podcast show upstairs in Leaf. If you want to go to that, it's theanfieldwrap.com/TAW live, or just go onto Eventum's website and search there for the Anfield Wrap. We're really looking forward to it, so do get down if you can.
My first live show with Tor, I'm excited.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. So there you go, Harriet's first live show. It could be yours as well. So you get your tickets now and come and be part of that. Really looking forward to it. Be some audience participation through all the way through. 7 o'clock start, which means that we can all get to bed relatively early. We know it's a Monday night, don't worry about that at all. So get down if you can. Last night I watched the match with Steve Graves and Rob Gutman, which was an absolute pleasure, a sincere sensation. And afterwards I did post-match pint, and here is a little bit of that. It is Curtis Jones's world, and Steve Graves, Rob Gutman and Neil Atkinson, we just live in it. It is your post-match pint after Liverpool have gone to Porto and won by 5 goals to 1. And 5-1, Rob Gutman, ever so slightly flat as Porto. It does not praise Liverpool enough. That is one remarkable performance in Europe.
Yeah, it might be our greatest ever performance in Europe, quietly. Some may say that it wasn't quite the stage. Some may say you had a bing, bada, boom. I just thought we were magnificent. I mean, you kept watching, you thinking, where's the punchline? Where's the jeopardy? Where's it going to get ripped from under us? Because we're like that, aren't we? Well, I am anyway. But we were just irrepressible. Even when they get their goal, well, we 4-0 up or 3-0, 3-1. And you go, oh, you spoilt it for us now, because this was so perfect. It was so perfect. But in a way, I'm glad they got their shitty little goal, because in a way, it was 5-1 going on a not bombastic 8-1. We were wonderful. There was quality all over the pitch. Curtis Jones, as you said, he wasn't just man of the match. He was a man of the match in a game of men of matches.
Yes.
Nobody played badly. Nobody played averagely. Fabinho, I tutted at him a couple of times and then watched the rest of his performance and went, wow. Everybody was a bit wow.
Everybody was a bit wow. I mean, just very quickly, when they do get there, and I do quite directly, shitty little goal, Steve, what I love is we follow it up with what will genuinely be one of my all-time favourite Liverpool goals. I love a slow goal. I love a despairing chase. And I love the fact that you're not quite sure whether or not it's been given. It is a glorious 4th goal from the Reds, and Jones was brilliant in the build-up. Welcome back. 3 very handsome people there working through a post-match pint for you. It does not get better than that. If you want to subscribe to the Anfield Wrap, there is Tour Player. There'll be lots of things underneath the screen doing all of this sort of business as well. But you can download the app at the Google Play thing and the Apple Store. Smooth moves, Ferguson. Working through all of that there, Atkinson. And you can go to theanfieldwrap.com/subscribe. All the post-match stuff yesterday was excellent. I actually even quite liked my written piece when I read it back this morning. Which
it was great. I read it last night.
Oh,
excellent.
Awesome. I tell you what, just more praise, as much as you can possibly give me. Yesterday, Roger Hunt passed away. There's a difficulty in amongst all of this, given literally our ages. Even if you think I am rather old, I obviously did not see Roger Hunt play football. Everything everyone said about him was that he was a lovely man, and the numbers speak for themselves. He was Liverpool's record goal scorer. The Anfield Wrap has got an excellent piece of an interview that Gareth did with him going back a number of years, back when Gareth had the fanzine well read. Do check that out. That is on the website, and if you go on the app, you'll be able to see it on there. We've boosted it back up in amongst the writing parts, and it's on the top of the site at the moment as well. It's also linked from our Twitter. That's a really good piece. Do read it. In general, though, this is where what we can, in a sense, almost call legacy media, like the Liverpool Echo, do a fantastic job. Today, the Echo has got a front page of Roger Hunt, and it's got stuff discussing his life and times on pages 2, 3, 4, 5, 48 and 49. That is exactly what Roger Hunt deserves, if not so much more. He is Liverpool's record ever goal scorer, the second highest goal scorer ever for the club. Think about the people who played for this club, think about the brilliant footballers, and think about the fact that he is number 2 in that list. Number 2 in that list when it comes to sticking the ball in the back of the net for Liverpool. Part of why Liverpool can go to Porto and beat Liverpool is because of what those men did in the 1960s and 1970s. They laid the groundwork for this wonderful football club. There'll be a brilliant tribute to him. I've got no shadow of a doubt around that at Anfield on Sunday. We'll hopefully all get to be part of that if we are in the ground. This stuff matters. As I say, if you can check out the Echo today, do so. If you can get copies delivered to you, do that. Do look at it online. And as I said before, Gareth's got our thing on there as well. I want to go through some little Facebook, not Facebook either, YouTube, this is awful, comments for you through all of this. Stephen Worth says, how's the head, Neil? The head's absolutely fine. The heartburn, Stephen, is an ongoing problem. And if this becomes the soundtrack to my 40s, then I'm going to be deeply upset about it. Brian Kaminsky says, Harriet, Curtis Jones is going to be a player, we know that. He says, no wonder Klopp didn't spend in the summer because of the young players like Jones and Elliott. I think there's fairness in that. And I think that's worth sort of bearing in mind. I think also part of why Elliott may have ended up with more of a midfield role is because Liverpool can see a pathway for Cade Gordon, and pathways matter to Liverpool. All of that said, I think it's important not to Liverpool were interested in midfielders during the summer on and off. They don't get one in the end. That Jones steps up to the plate is something to be celebrated. We don't have to be pouring scorn on anything else, I don't think.
It's what we've done is a gamble, and I don't think the fact that it's paid off means that we
it wasn't a gamble in the first place.
Exactly. So it's not that we should never have signed any midfielders and that we weren't interested in any because we knew what we had. However, it is a really great thing that we are allowing places and opportunities for players like Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott to step up to the plate and show what they can do. If you overload the midfield with new transfers, which we all love a transfer, we know that, but they don't get these opportunities and they don't get to prove what they're really good at. And I think a part of it will have been Klopp knowing that he does have these players in his back pocket that maybe as fans we don't automatically think about come the start of the season until we see a bit more of them. And he'd have thought, well, I know what we've got here. We don't need more and keep adding to it. And he likes a small squad, and that's just the reality for Klopp.
Well, the flip side of that is, as Carl Trotman says, anyone see the City bench last night, riddled with knocks, 2 or 3 lads you've never even heard of. We in our heads, I think, have created this behemoth of this Manchester City squad as though they've got 27 full internationals. They haven't. They've got 20, 21, 22. Not dissimilar to us. They've taken a couple of gambles as well. Yeah. And I think that's because these managers, they do not want to be working with 27 players and trying to keep them all happy. They want to be working with 20, 21 where they feel as though they can do that, and we need to bear that in mind. That's Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, I think as Liverpool fans we always get a bit blinkered by what we think other teams have and that we don't have, and we actually need to start thinking and put that spin on that on his head a little bit and think about all the players that we do have. And like you said, I think Klopp, especially, he likes a small squad, but he also likes to be able to work with academy players and players like Gordon coming through and be able to give them the time of day and treat them like they are going to be part of his squad in the future. And I think allowing, having a small squad and not bringing too many players in allows him to have that sort of freedom and time to be able to do that and to be able to coach players like Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott so that we get the next generation of future footballers.
Pointed out here by Umair, if we are defensively on point, we can win most games, as scoring goals is not an issue this season. Liverpool are the the second top flight team ever to score 3 goals or more in 6 consecutive away games. That's ever. The first top flight team to do it were Liverpool in 2017-18. This shows what this team's capable of on the road. We've maybe underplayed how brilliantly they've been playing in an attacking sense this season, Harriet. To have done that is a remarkable achievement, frankly.
Yeah, it's something that we maybe take for granted, and we can absolutely never take for granted. We had all three of the classic, the original front three on the score sheet last night, which is obviously a great thing. I was just hoping Jota would have got a goal. I think when he came off and Klopp sort of patted him on the back and was like, you could have got one there, but you didn't, so it's okay. But they are playing incredible attacking football. They're getting the goals, they're getting in the right positions. All the talk of, the form and dips in form. Last night, where were the dips in form? I didn't see any, did you?
There were absolutely no dips in form. They were all practically perfect in every way. Bit of chat as well from Umair actually saying that Robertson was immense. We can overlook that a little bit. I think he's actually been a teeny bit wobbly at times this season. I thought he was absolutely different class last night, Robertson. Yeah,
Robertson was incredible last night. I think you could go through the team and say they all were incredible, but I think for Robertson, he's had, like you said, a few wobbly weeks, and he hasn't been to his best. And people were saying, well, maybe Shimikas comes in for that one, which is, we never want to doubt Robertson, but we were sort of having those conversations. I think now he's played that game last night. He's there on Sunday, isn't he? And we're backing him like we are all the other lads.
Indeed. Listen, it was a pleasure last night. All the fantastic content is on there. The reason why I've got to cut this a teeny bit short is I've got to go and do a review, so that'll be out in a minute or two. And there's something else getting filmed in here at 11 o'clock as well in the build-up to the City game. It's the Anfield Wrap, where we're doing 12 to 14 podcasts and 10 to 12 videos a week about what is right now one of the greatest football teams on the planet. One of the reasons we mentioned Roger Hunt before, one of the reasons this is one of the greatest football teams on the planet, one of the key reasons why, is Bill Shankly. Shankly passed away 40 years ago today, but the truth is, Shankly lives forever. See you later.